But you know what's interesting about him is it's like forcing him to have to say hello. And every time I walk by him, I think, just a perfect example of you can be super healthy, you can be super fit, and you can be super driven. But at the end of the day, if it's like pains you to have to actually smile and say hello to someone else that's out exercising in the morning, you still have a lot of shit to figure out. That's someone that needs to put some stuff in perspective. It's Evie here. Welcome to EML Radio, where we are always talking truth. All of those things you need to hear that nobody else is willing to say. Here, welcome back to EML Radio. I want to talk today a little bit about the importance of keeping things in perspective. So every day when I get up, before I even have my coffee, I grab my dog and him and I go for just like a 15 or 20 minute walk. It's like by far my favorite time of day. Like nobody's really out. It makes me just get myself in the right mindset. And I wanted to share a little bit about what I experience when I go on that walk and how it really helps me keep things in perspective. So you probably can hear my dog. Yeah, did you hear my dog shake? I have my dog at the office today. Anyway, so we live in kind of a combination residential and commercial area. And we've got a ton of construction going on right now. So needless to say, there's porta potties set up all over these construction sites. And every morning, first person I encounter on my walk is the guy that is responsible for coming and pumping out those porta potties. And I gotta tell you, it is like a big eye-opener to me, and it helps me keep things in perspective and be really grateful for the job and the life that I have. Now, clearly, I don't know anything about this guy's life, right? But I do know that myself, my husband, or any of the people that I know are not having to pump shit out of a porta potty to start their day. Really stop and think about that. So this guy gets up, he's got to get up early because this is like 6 o'clock at the latest that I'm out there, and he's already pumping toilets. So this guy gets up and he gets the great gift of smelling everybody else's shit every morning. Okay? So he's the first guy that I run into. And then there's always these frequent walkers. So usually the next guy I encounter is a guy that's probably, I would say probably in his mid to late 70s, older guy. And he's always carrying hand weights. And you can just look at him and know that he has had like fitness in his life pretty much lifelong. But you know what's interesting about him is it's like forcing him to have to say hello. And every time I walk by him, I think, just a perfect example of you can be super healthy, you can be super fit, and you can be super driven. But at the end of the day, if it's like pains you to have to actually smile and say hello to someone else that's out exercising in the morning, you still have a lot of shit to figure out. That's someone that needs to put some stuff in perspective. And then my favorite gal that's out there every day. I mean, I'm talking religiously, you guys. I live in North Idaho. So even when there's snow on the ground, when it's pouring rain, this gal is out there. And she is also at least mid 70s. And it's clear that she probably either had a stroke or just maybe at one point had polio. Something is going on where she has this gait where she's walking with like a very significant limp, and you can kind of tell that like one half of her body doesn't really keep up with the other half. And she is the happiest, smiliest, Like, she beats me to the hello every single morning. And like, really think about that, right? You got Mr. Uber Fit that's really on a mission and he can barely force himself to smile. And then you've got the gal who really think about that. You know, she's elderly and clearly has a disability, but she's out there happy as a clam, soaking up sunshine like this morning, and just pleasant. Like, it makes my day every time I see her. And then, kind of creepy, one guy I always run into is this guy. He's really friendly, but he wears these gloves, and I'm talking, like even this morning he had them on, and it's like 70 degrees outside, and they're like skill gloves, you know, those gloves that you find at a department store. I don't like, he doesn't affect me at all, other than the fact that I'm like, God, I wonder who that guy is going to strangle someday. It's not funny that he's going to strangle someone, I get it, but it's like something is up there. Anyway, I share this story with you because a couple of things. For one, if you aren't getting out there amongst people, you really don't have the opportunity to keep things in perspective in your life. You just don't. And you know, that's one of the worst things about this whole entire shut-in, is that we are removing ourselves further and further from people in a world where we were already really disconnected. And you see all these people, you know, sitting at home on social media all day or watching the news all day, which either way, social media or the news, they're really no different, right? They're both just emotionally based platforms for people, whether it's the news station or other people, to try to incite emotion and anger. Okay? So anyway, you have these people sitting at home, and the problem with that is you really don't have any perspective until you get out there amongst other people. Look at other people in the eyes. Right? Go about and appreciate, like the guy that is the septic system pumper, right? Like, if I wasn't out there doing that morning walk, how often am I going to think about that guy, right? Or other guys like him that are picking up my garbage, or that are delivering my mail, or doing the other things that we all have to do together to collectively make this world work. So you've got to get out there amongst people. If you're worried about COVID still, well, by all means, wear a mask, like distance, right? But shutting yourself in and distancing yourself from other people, I guarantee you, makes you lose perspective. So, you know, I would say that my walk is more, I wouldn't say it's more important, but it definitely has a bigger impact on me than like my journaling, where I'm just sitting writing. Now, I do have a gratitude journal that I write in periodically, and I do, you know, give thanks every morning that I'm awake. But I really think that that practice is just kind of easy to make, just kind of humdrum. It makes it more routine, where you're just thinking, oh yeah, I'm grateful for my life, I'm grateful for my kids, I'm grateful for all this shit. But you know what? You really aren't feeling it in your bones until you get out there in the world and engage with other people. And that is the stuff that puts things in perspective. So the truth I'll leave you with today is this. Your life and the world around you is a lot better than you're hearing. Your life is a lot better and a lot easier than you realize. But until you get out there and experience the world around you, you are never going to be able to have an objective perspective and put your own problems in perspective, and never really be able to fully engage how good life really is. So hopefully this gave you some food for thought. Start a practice, right? Start a practice of engaging. Start a practice of learning to give yourself an opportunity to keep perspective in your life. Oh, and then the one last thing, I forgot to mention this, and I definitely don't want to close without it. You know, for all of you that, like on the fitness side, that you interact with me and you tell me the same old bullshit over and over again, that you just don't have time to go for a walk, right? You're just too tired at the end of the day. I got to tell you, I'm going to call you out, and that is just complete and utter bullshit. If you got 2 legs, right, then you can go for a walk and take care of your body. The old lady that I encounter every day, that clearly it's a struggle for her to walk, I think about all of you every morning when I see her and think, man, like you have 2 legs to walk on and no fucking excuses other than just the crap you're telling yourself. So just keep that in mind, right? Those of us that aren't making excuses and are willing to put things into perspective and take care of ourselves are the ones that are out there in the morning getting perspective and taking care of our body. While the rest of you are laying in bed, tired, chronically tired, and making excuses. Put that in perspective. We'll see you next time.